Liftoff.
Hey everyone, I'm Jeff Mattas. Welcome to Weekend Confirms Question of the Week. This week's question comes from Steve Andriolo. He says, when I hear a small percentage of people finish games, I wonder why devs still put so many resources into making them long. Give me a shorter, tighter, and less expensive game experience any day. Saves us both time and money. Now, I sort of understand the premise of what you're saying. Some games seem like they have a lot of extraneous content packed into them, and that don't really add to the experience in any meaningful way, other than to make the game longer. But there's a couple of issues that I have. First off, shorter games don't necessarily mean they're going to be cheaper. When you look at a really well-crafted experience that's very linear, like Uncharted or something like God of War or something like that. They put a ton of time and resource and effort into making those experiences what they are. They're not. I don't think you'd see titles like that being priced less than something that was big and expansive like a JRPG, which is probably the most that genre. Japanese role-playing games is probably the genre where the developers are most guilty of throwing extra content for content's sake into the game. That's where grinding comes from and that sort of thing. Then you've got the other side of the spectrum with open world games, and the problem is that I don't think anybody would be interested in a huge expansive open world that had 10 or 12 hours of content in it. A 10-hour Skyrim or a 10-hour Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption or something like that probably wouldn't. Fans would be disappointed. You'd present them with this huge world and you'd be done with it before you knew it, before you had a chance to explore the whole thing. And I also think that that's why those games are so long and have so much content in them, is because you basically build this huge interactive world with all these systems interacting with each other, and you want people to have a lot of options and a lot of things to do, and that sort of thing. Now, I don't think anybody's necessarily gotten that hit that nail right on the head perfectly, but those games, I think Rockstar does a really good job. The Bethesda folks do a great job with the Elder Scrolls stuff, and there are other games like that really do benefit from a lot of content that is helps keep you engaged in the world and doesn't feel like necessarily like filler. Rockstar does a bunch of stuff in their games where they add all these little things you can do, like bowling or street races or car theft missions or stuff that are optional within the context of the game. But sure, my thought is if you're going to make a game world that big and you've got a couple extra minutes to put in a well-designed but simple little subset gameplay experience, why not? On the other hand, I wish they developed some of the little mini games and stuff like bowling and that sort of thing a little bit better, because really those are kind of throwaways. So anyway, it's a good question. I'm not sure that making games shorter necessarily translates into making them cheaper, especially in the AAA space. I don't think you'll find anybody willing to sell a game for less than AAA retail market value, unless it's some sort of marketing effort or something. But really, people don't want to people want to sell games for $60 a pop in the console retail space, and more or less the same in the PC space. But anyway, it's a pretty interesting question. Maybe someday somebody will create a game that they say, hey, this game is cheaper because we didn't make it that long. But again, that's a tough sell. Anyway, thanks for the question.
Favorite, because you can see even now that there are good digital download games that have been
highly recommend that. The second question comes from RS Schuster, who asks, what's my favorite Resident Evil?
Putting out games over the summer, at least during that dead spot. It's sometime in June.
I know a lot of people are going to say 4. 4 is excellent. Can't argue with that. 2, like that.